All righty then. So let's see what we got going on here. Ooh, lovely, lovely, lovely. There we are. Ooh, it says here, I am abrosexual. It took me 30 years to realize. Sorry, what? Okay. Just looks like a regular white lesbian. Um, when I tell people that I'm abrosexual, I'm often greeted by blank expressions. Yeah, because it sounds dumb. When did you decide this? Is this even a label? I've never heard of it. I support you, obviously, but it doesn't sound real because it's not. Just some of the words that greeted me when I came out as abrosexual to a close friend back in 2022. Because they probably didn't know you were a deluded bit. Needless to say, we're not friends anymore. For a reasonable response, okay. For those of you who don't know what abrosexual is, in a layperson's terms, yes, please spell it out for us lay people, even though it took you 30 years to make up some shit. It simply means when someone sexual identity fluctuates and changes. What constantly? Isn't that like the isn't that the backstory of like Tech Knight from The Boys? Like all you got to do is start, doing superhero work and try not to bang anybody's cat, and you should be fine. Let's see. I read and reread the text, dismissiveness of their message cutting deeper each time. Here I was sharing my identity with someone I trusted only for them to scoff at my words. Because you sound dumb. Although the easy defense is that you can't determine whose tone from a text message, I think it's clear that the vibe was far from supportive. It was judgmental and immediately doubtful. Sadly, this person isn't the only one who has voiced their opinions on my abrosexuality, and I doubt they will be the last. What gave you that idea? When I was growing up, I've never heard of the term abrosexual. You're either straight, gay, or lesbian. Yeah, two to the power of two. Math. As far as the 90s society was concerned, anything else was made up. Well, everything that has a name is made up, but the thing that it's associated with is real. So if the thing that the name of whatever you have is associated, if it's real, then it's probably a medical diagnosis of something wrong with you that you need either some sort of medical help or psychological help, because that is not how the body is supposed to work. Sexuality actually has a purpose. And you can say, oh, well, does that mean it's not valid if people are gay? No, it's fine. But the purpose is simply switched in a certain way where it no longer serves that purpose anymore. But you can understand how that can happen, right? You can understand that women are attracted to men and men are attracted to women, which means that the possibility exists in both men and women for them to be attracted to both men and women. So if someone can be straight, then someone can also be gay, because that function already exists. It's just that if you have a freaking baby and a gender is not assigned right away, we pretty much have the same sort of build up and makeup psychologically. It's just that certain things come online and certain things don't when our DNA is sort of like being formed. And if what comes online for a man is the attraction to other men, then he's gay. What comes online to a woman is the attraction to other women, then she's a lesbian. But if something comes online where you're just flip flopping depending on the month or the day or the moon waving in the sky as to your attraction, then you're either lying or there's something wrong with you at a biological level. More from the platform. platform is the home of Metro UK, first person, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay. The devastating financial impact of having, what the f is this? Sarah Whitley has shared a heartwarming story about how she uses her love of reading. What am I reading right now? Root Sparks has opened up about being sexually. What the f? Emma Hillswood has suffered from an overactive bladder for years, and she writes about how her needs to we. What is often people don't go look for educate themselves in different orientations unless it's directly affect them without the incentive. I've found many stick to what they already know, what they know already. I didn't learn about abrosexuality until 2 years ago when I was 30. Up until that point, I struggled to identify what my sexuality was because it fluctuated so rapidly. It sounds like you're bisexual. That is also a possibility. Both attraction triggers can come online, and you could just be attracted to both men and women. It fluctuating could just be a matter of the people. The people change. Like, are you dumb? Like, you don't need to reclassify basic stuff. There were times that I too scoffed, chastised myself for being so uncertain of who I was. Yeah, because that's a mental illness. The one person that should know who you are is you. So other people don't have that inside information. It wasn't that I couldn't make my mind up, but rather my identity shifted. No? Like, I get sexuality is a big part of people's identity, but like, it doesn't change you as a fundamental person. It just simply change how you interact with other people. So if you interact with someone that you're not attracted to in the same way as if your sexuality flipped and now you're suddenly attracted to them, like it shouldn't change who you are. It just changed your interest in that person and how you would like pursue them or whatnot. One day I felt like I was a lesbian, yet days or weeks later I'd feel more aligned with bisexuality. My sexuality was fluid. Ma'am, being bisexual and being attracted to women is not mutually exclusive. You're just dumb. Before learning about abrosexuality, I felt lost as if out at sea. I also felt a little like a fraud because of how much I changed my identity when chatting with loved ones. Okay, so you changed the label that people call you. Okay, so that's a psychological problem. The problem isn't that your sexuality changes, is that you are constantly searching for identity. You're constantly searching for what to identify yourself, and you'll keep switching through labels. That's why you feel like a fraud, because you are manipulative, lying asshole. Sorry, I'm just kidding. I'm sure you're fine. You're probably a lovely person. I also felt like a fraud because of how much no one was intentionally hurtful, but I get the occasional. But you said you were a lesbian only last week. So I'm saying people know you through how you present yourself. So you're telling people you're one thing, and then you're like, actually, I'm another thing. What do you expect them to do? They didn't understand. What is there to understand? You keep switching what you're saying. They weren't confused about what was happening. They were confused about why you were doing it. They're trying to find out your intentions. They didn't understand, and at the time, I didn't have the right words to explain myself. Who else would? You're the one doing it. You could simply say, okay, well, I felt that way last time, but now I kind of felt different. There you go. It was only when I was reading the Instagram page of Zoe Stoller, a US based creator, educator, and social worker who seeks to improve the visibility of blah, 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 that I saw them the term abrosexuality for the first time. So someone created a word and you identified with the definition because you weren't satisfied with the other words. You're like, lesbian, I don't feel it. Bisexual, I don't really feel it. I want something unique that's just me. Abrosexuality, yay! I'm different now. You know, in cartoons when light bulbs appear, but no, I don't. I don't know how that happens in cartoons. Yet, while discovering a new term for me has been hugely beneficial to understanding myself better, to some people, my identity is one that evokes confusion. You were confused. Other people aren't allowed to be confused. You said yourself you didn't understand it. She literally dropped a friend because they didn't react the way she wanted them to the new term that she just learned, even though she was literally confused. And that same friend was probably the same person that would be like, oh, you said you were just lesbian just last week. What's going on? Like, you putting this person through this all the time. You're a real asshole. When I tell people that I'm abrosexual, I'm often greeted with blank expressions, question about what term means, and questions are fine as long as they're respectful. No. Why would anyone respect someone that says something silly like that? That's just, like, seriously. It's just, there's nothing about that to respect. You could just hook up with the people that you want to hook up and not go around telling people that you're abro, whatever the hell. Like, you could just not do that. You could just have your sexual life separate from whatever else you're doing with other people. Like, it doesn't have to mix and match. Not everyone that sees you have to know how unique you are and how you found this word that made you so goddamn unique that everyone should find you very interesting. And I'm happy to say that the rest of my friends and family have been very supportive of my identity and strive to learn more. What else is there to learn? You have an identity that means you just constantly switch how you want to be defined. I like one question I have been asked about how being abrosexual impacts my love life, and in short, it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. You're still doing what you were doing before. It doesn't alter my romantic relationships in the same way being bisexual doesn't cause a person to feel any different about their partner. Because you're bisexual. You silly, silly individual. The problem was that you fluctuate between wanting to be with a man and not wanting to be with a man. That was the problem, because your confusion was that I was lesbian one moment and then I'm bisexual the other moment. You know what? You weren't straight, which means your problem was with men. You were angry at men. I'm done with this. I am done with this. Anyways, until next time.